Feldy in the studio.
Welcome back.
So let's go for some regular news now. And sorry, I also have Hassan on the phone. We had some crazy stuff behind the scenes. Hi, Hassan.
Okay.
I didn't forget about you. I promise.
Technical.
So let's see. From the "Who would buy this and what would you do with it?" department. None other than NECA, N-E-C-A, a collectible store, has announced that they are creating and selling a fully posable, life-size replica of the robot doll from the hit film Megan. The replica is based on Megan's on-screen appearance, duplicated from the actual film-used digital files, and the most screen-accurate representation available, and comes with an articulated inner armature, movable eyes, and synthetic hair matched on-screen by used samples. Her clothing is made from patterns and includes a dress with inner lining and 2 striped sleeves, a bow tie, underwear, tights, and shoes. The fabric of the material of her dress matches an exact swatch of the dress from the movie, and her shoes are customized with details from the screen-used shoes. The doll stands at 4'5". So,
say what?
Question is,
I just saw that.
Who would buy this? And what would you do with it, and how much do you think it would cost?
I was going to ask that, how much it was.
So first, who would buy that?
Well, the price is going to determine the demographic.
So how much do you think? How much
oh, boy. Thousands?
You're thinking thousands? Hassan, what do you think?
Who would buy that?
Well, how much do you think it is? We'll start with that.
Yeah.
It's got to be something like $900.
I was thinking that. Yeah, that's actually my number too.
So it is $494.99.
Oh, wow.
So for a life-size doll.
I think we're getting all types of people.
Screen accurate.
All types of people with all different intentions. I've listened to Dr. Phil. I'm sorry, it's been penetrating my brain, but Dr. Phil just says maybe sexual intentions, maybe companionship. Maybe they want to watch Megan with Megan.
All right, so that's the
sleeping partner.
Hassan, what do you think? Well, who would buy this?
No.
Little girls.
It's like, why?
Big boys.
I'm not.
My question is, why? That's all I can think is who and why. Who and why would you want a life-size Megan doll for $500? Just beyond. That's it.
And she's really mean in the movie.
So you don't want to, Hassan. We're just gonna go? We're just gonna move on?
He likes brunettes.
The silence would mean yes. All right. So moving on. You ready?
She's
Brian?
too pale for him.
From
That's
the.
a lot of nuts!
You gotta wait till I say the. From the.
That's a lot of nuts!
Department. The new Godzilla King Kong sequel has taken the #1 spot in the domestic box office, pulling in $80 million in ticket sales in its first week of release, beating out the new Ghostbusters sequel, which came in at the #2 spot, making an additional $15.5 million in its second week of release. For those of you keeping track, June Part 2 is still the highest grossing film of this year so far, with $254 million, followed by Kung Fu Panda Part 4 with $153 million. Both of those films are the only two so far that have broken the $100 million mark this year. Now, I know Hassan did see both of them, right? You saw King Kong and you saw Dune, right?
Yes, I did.
And did you get a chance to see Godzilla? Not Godzilla, but Ghostbusters yet? Not yet.
I didn't, unfortunately. I was trying to see it before this show because I anticipated you asking me that question, but I failed. So I will ironically probably be able to watch it tomorrow, but that's not going to do today any good.
Unless you do time travel and go back in time and then talk to you. Yeah.
I could do that, but that's going to take up a lot of coaxium, and I'm saving that for when I have to return to my home planet.
For Nexium?
We're gonna move. Let's see what we got here. Let's do this one. Ready one more time, Brian.
Some people claim to be science fiction fans and aren't really science fiction fans. That's all.
One more time, Brian. From the.
That's a lot of nuts!
No, that's not a lot of nuts department. According to financial statements, it has been announced that Disney has officially lost $134.2 million on the latest Indiana Jones film. The film cost $387.2 million to make the film, which includes an additional $79 million on post-production work, which mostly was digitally de-aging Harrison Ford. The film brought in $147.4 million in domestic box office tickets. Now, did you see Indiana Jones? No, she's saying no.
Nope.
Did you want to see Indiana Jones?
I find everything family-friendly boring, so no.
All right. I know, Hassan, you saw the Indiana Jones, correct?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think of that one?
I enjoyed it. I was a big fan of it.
Oh, okay.
One more time. I thought it was a good closeout, too. I mean, I don't know if I enjoyed it because I expected way less than what I got, or if I enjoyed it because I got way more than I expected. But I don't know.
All right. That makes sense.
I walked away and I enjoyed it.
It's that whole the whole Hulk thing that when people were expecting more and it made less money, they thought it was a success. When the other one they were expecting less and they got more, they considered it a failure, right? That's,
exactly.
Right.
Didn't they say they lowered their expectations?
They did.
We exceeded our lowered expectations.
Sometimes that's what you gotta do. If you just go into a movie, just no expectations at all, most likely you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Or if you have really bad
very hard to do,
you like it, but that did not happen with Wakanda. Can't stand that movie.
So, Brian, we ready one more time from the
That's a lot of nuts!
department. It happened at a recent auction. Action Comics #1 has sold, which we talked about this in previous episode, for a record-breaking $6 million. The book was in pre-auction already at $5 million, and the very same book sold in 2022 for $5.3 million. So basically, as Hassan will get this joke, it cost one Lee Majors to buy this book.
No.
$6 million. So actually, Jen wasn't here last week when we were talking about this. So
it cost one Steve Austin, not one Lee Majors. But okay.
Thank you, Mr. Yes, semantics. Yes. So Elman Jenny Feldy, as we talked about the Megan doll, who would buy a $6 million case that has quote unquote a book in it?
Right.
We don't know.
Never know.
$6 million. And what would you do with a case that has a $6 million price tag on it?
I could do a lot more with the Megan doll, I'll tell you that. I mean, she could satisfy a lot of my needs and a lot of other people's needs more than a book can. I mean, a book, I guess
it's not even a book. That's the thing.
You could eat off of it. You could use it as a table placemat. Maybe as a cutting board. I'd probably use it as a cutting board. Or maybe I could use it to make some fake blood tonight. I need a smooth surface.
Smooth surface.
Yeah.
That someone pays $6 million to cook off of?
I don't know what else I'd do with it.
All right.
I don't know. I'm kind of bored of taking selfies. Kind of done with that. I don't know.
Take selfies. All right. Well, so this is a complete
function over fashion, baby.
A derailment. But I remember when I went to a convention, they had the Diddy had his own bottle, his own liquor, and there was a party for the liquor.
Okay.
And people were taking pictures of the bottle of the liquor at this party.
Yeah.
Just because. This was years ago.
Ciroc was Ciroc.
Maybe
I was 27. We got a couple bottles of Ciroc at my last birthday party ever. I thought it was so cool. I got drunk. I jumped in the pool. I got a job offer the next day. I rapped on the mic. Thanks to Ciroc. Shout out Ciroc. Shout out Diddy. Love you, Diddy. I don't know. Do I? Yeah. But yeah, Ciroc was cool then. Yay!
But I remember we were sitting there and I was like, they're taking pictures of them with the bottle. Like he wasn't even at the party. It was just very odd.
Yeah. So there was a lot of hype. They did a great job promoting that.
Well, I guess that's what it is.
I bought into it, 14 years ago. 13.
Hassan, what would you do with the $6 billion book? That's not even a book. That may or may not be a book.
Right.
What would I do? I wouldn't have it.
Right.
Well,
I wouldn't have to worry about what to do with it. Because if I had $6 million, I wouldn't spend it on that. If I didn't have $6 million, I wouldn't be able to afford it.
Well, let's say you had to. You had $20 million.
He was forced to?
Yeah, $6 million.
There's no one on the planet that's going to make me spend $6 million on a comic.
No, wait. She might not even realize this, but that was the basis of a movie.
That you have to spend all your money on a book.
Yes, it was called, not a book, it was Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor, that he had a large amount of money.
Yeah.
And for him to get a larger amount of money, he had to spend all the money. So in that situation, he would have bought a $6 million comic book.
Right.
So Mr. Brewster.
No. He had to spend the money, but then by the end of the contest, he had to have no remnant of whatever he spent that money on.
Right.
He couldn't, by definition, still have that comic book, even after he spent $6 million on it.
So he would leave it on the curb or something.
No, he had to have legitimately not had it anymore. So he would have had to have sold it.
And then
or donated it maybe to charity, whatever charity wanted a $6 million comic book. It wouldn't work.
So let's, Mr.
It
Hassan Godwin.
It would cost him the money.
What would you do if in a situation that it was Hassan's Millions? What would you do with that book?
Oh my God! You're going to answer your question again? I wouldn't have the book. I'm not interested in the book.
Fine.
Well, I mean, I would put it up on a wall. What do you want me to do? What do you want to know? I would give it to a homeless guy.
Curious.
Here's $6 million.
I'm just curious. Like I'm just curious of your brain processing of this.
I would get I would get the comic book, and I would wait until the cameras were on me to celebrate that I had bought this $6 million comic book, and then I would crack open the shell to see if it was a real comic book inside. And I would make sure that they all saw me, so everybody who cares about that would pass out.
Wow.
See, that's making a statement. See, that's a Hassan answer I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're almost out of time. Hassan Godwin. Mr. Hassan, Brewster's Million Godwin. Do you have any final thoughts for our news segment?
Yes. I've got plenty of final thoughts, and I'm not going to share them with you.
Elman Jenny Feldy, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, almost everyone I know that's successful has lists. So if you don't have lists and you don't like your life, start making lists and stick to the lists.
All right, so...
If that was my final thought, you'd be pissed off with me, Mark.
I like it.
For everybody listening to us on the radio, we'll see you next week. For everybody else, stay tuned for more at Camps on the Radio.
The views expressed in the previous program did not necessarily represent those of the staff, management, or owners of WGBB.